Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends on when you're watching us. You're welcome to another interesting episode of Ask Pastor Sunday Show, a platform where you can ask every question you have and you can be very sure that you're going to hear from Pastor Sunday directly. So welcome everyone, and as you join us, please kindly share the video, share the link, and you know how to do it. You can share the links by using the @ symbol, and you can add anyone's name, your friends, your family, anyone at all. Invite them and let's get started. And also you can share this link to several groups of people that you know or groups that you belong to, and let everyone get started and let's join into, learn, because we had a very wonderful episode last week. We asked a lot of questions and we're looking forward to asking even more questions this week, and that's our target, to ask more, to beat the questions of last week. So welcome everyone, please go ahead and share the link, and we are about to get started. Thank you so much. I don't know if we're live on Facebook yet. Okay, so welcome our Facebook viewers, welcome to Ask Pastor Sunday Show. This show, you get to ask your questions and you get to get replies from Pastor Sunday directly, and we're about to start. So as you join us, please share the link, invite your friends, and let's get everyone on board so that we can hear the answers to the questions that have been asked. And also, if you have a question, you can actually ask your question right now, but don't forget to put the letter Q before your question, because if you just ask a question without the letter Q, we won't be able to distinguish if it's a question or a comment. So please, before you ask your question, type letter Q and then ask your question, and that is how we can get your questions, and then we can ask your questions maybe this episode or in subsequent episodes. And also you can send your questions to sundayadelajablog.com/askpastorsunday, and you're going to see an interface there that you can send in your questions on sundayadelajablog.com, sundayadelajablog.com. And also to watch previous episodes of Ask Pastor Sunday, you could go to our pastor's YouTube page, Sunday Adelaja Official. And on Sunday Adelaja Official, you could just go to the Ask Pastor Sunday section. You see it in the playlist, and you can watch all of the Ask Pastor Sunday shows, and you're going to get answers to your question. So thank you so much, and welcome, Dr. Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you. So we're ready to dive straight into the questions. I believe you're ready. All right. So the first question I'll be asking is, Dear DSA, I'm currently reading your book, How to Live an Effective Life. I am thoroughly enjoying the book and learning a lot from it. In the book, you wrote about knowing your identity as being the first step to living an effective life.
Can we show the book? We are talking about how to live an effective life. Look, that's it. Okay. There is it. How to live an effective life. Okay.
Yeah, so in the book you wrote about knowing your identity as being the first step to living an effective life. Mm-hmm. One of the questions you told us to ask ourselves is, who are you? I have asked myself the question and was curious to know your answer to the question too. So DSA, who are you?
Okay. So I thought you were reading the book for yourself. Okay.
Maybe the person needs like a model, on how to answer the question.
So
an example.
The guy got his own revelation finished. After he finished with himself, he
okay.
He now decided to deal with it. Okay, thank you so much for that question. Who is Sunday Adelaja? That's what I'm hearing. I'm not particularly sure of how detailed you would like my answer to be. How much time you would like me to give to that answer. So who is Sunday Adelaja? In the short version of it, I would like just say Sunday Adelaja is a friend of God, a God revealer, and a deliverer. That it will be the short form of it. I hope that is clear, or if it's not clear, or if the person or you or feel that I must expatiate, or I must talk other things, or I must talk more about myself, then we can keep on going. You know, just ask what you would like me to tell me. What you would like me to do.
So the short version of your identity, because this question is about identity.
Okay.
Who am I? So it answers the question of identity. And so you said you are a friend of God. You also mentioned that you are a deliverer. And
you missed one.
Okay, I missed one.
That one.
Okay. Okay, you're a friend. You're a friend of God, and also you're a God revealer, and you're a God revealer, and you are a deliverer.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that order.
Okay. So what's special about the order? Because I put third for second. Is there anything particular about?
I missed the second. I would rather say.
Okay, I missed the second.
That's the way it appeared.
Yeah, I missed the second.
So, what?
Is there anything particular about the order?
It's important that first of all, when you are a friend of God, that is more important than being a revealer of God. Because as a friend of God, that is what brings you to a place to even know what to reveal. And once you begin to know God, then you can reveal Him. And then the results you want to have is what comes after that. Deliverance for people, being a deliverer to people. That is already the consequence, the result, the fruit of being a friend of God and being a revealer of God.
Yeah. And then the question of why are you here, I mean the question of purpose, is it also in the description of your identity?
In the way I answer that question is in a way that it will encompass a lot of these things.
Okay.
But, you know, if people are interested for me to elaborate and for me to give more explicit answers to who is Pastor Sunday, I could attempt to. Who is Pastor Sunday? In my own terms, that's what I've said, right? In my own mind. Okay, a friend of God, a God revealer, and a deliverer. So that's my own. I would not like to deal with each one of those too much. But now let's look at, apart from me describing who I am, let's see how the world probably is perceiving who Sunday Adelaja is. If people who don't know me, they will probably say that's a troublemaker, a controversial personality, and someone that is just in his own world, just wanting to cause trouble for everybody, and somebody that is just there to destroy other people's ministry, an antichrist. Some people say that too. So that's from the viewpoint of people who are far from me, who don't have an idea of what I'm doing because I'm too complex for them, or I'm too different from who they are or for what they expect. Okay. But for people who know me better, for example, my pastors here in Ukraine will say, Pastor Sunday is a factory. Factory for the production of successful people. That is not bad, but I think that is not really who I am. That's just one of the things, the consequences, or the part of the process of what I do. It's a description of one of the processes that I'm involved with. So I do that, but that's just a process. So when somebody say you are a factory for releasing or developing or raising successful people, either in politics or in business or in ministry or in church. Other people might say, Pastor Sunday is somebody, okay, for example, people who watch me on live broadcast began to say, Pastor Sunday, you are a teacher like we have never seen before. Okay, but I've not even started teaching yet. Frankly speaking, what I've been doing is just giving exposition. What I've been doing is just bringing enlightenment right now. What I've been doing is just, dissipating darkness and just bringing illumination. But when I begin to teach, they are going to be coming across something totally different from the same Pastor Sunday they used to know.
And if they're calling you a teacher now, they have to coin a new word.
Yeah, I don't know what they will say. But personally, I don't even call myself a teacher or a preacher. I don't even regard myself as a teacher or a preacher. Those are just methods that I need to use to communicate. So I don't see myself as a preacher. I don't see myself as a teacher. I don't see myself as a pastor. But basically, I just see myself as a friend of God, a revealer of God, a God carrier, and a deliverer. If I need to teach, God will be able to do it. If I need to preach, by the grace of God, I will do it. If I need to write, by the grace of God, I will do it. If I need to invent, okay. If I need to, I don't know, anything I need to do just to be able to carry God, reveal God, and bring about deliverance to people and nations. Anything I need to do, I just need to do it. So, in the process, I try to perfect myself in different areas. So I perfect myself, my skills and my qualities in any area that is necessary just for me to be who I just said that I am. So for me to be a God revealer, an effective one, I needed to perfect my knowledge. So then when they say, oh, you know a lot, you're a man of wisdom, well, maybe, but that's not my goal. So when they say, oh, I got healed through you, or God used you in some revelatory knowledge, or word of knowledge, or word of wisdom, or you are, no, I'm not if necessary, okay, we're going to do miracles, but that's not the way I would describe myself. So if I need to teach, if that is what is needed for me to be able to communicate God and to be able to impart God, all right, we're going to teach. If I would need to write books or do film or be funny or go on my knees or cry or prostrate, I would do anything I need to do just to communicate God. So I'm not a professional in anything. I'm not good in anything. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a teacher. Those are just things that come out of who I am. So maybe it's too complex now.
No, not quite complex. I think the picture you're giving is, now I can understand the reason why you wrote your book, Pastor Face Your Calling, because those pastors, teachers, they're like boxes where that limits people. For example, if you're a pastor and you have to be funny, you'll be like, how will I be funny if I'm a pastor?
Okay.
People will expect you to be serious, or you're trying to write books. Or those thoughts you're mentioning that you can be everything just because you want to fulfill the purpose of revealing God and also being a deliverer. Yeah. So I think just breaking out of that box, that tag that people can put to you. Okay, you're a teacher, so because you're a teacher, you cannot prophesy.
I never heard. I never even thought of myself as a teacher. That's the least thing I will ever think. But I discovered that people are using the language that is familiar to them.
Yeah, I think because of the fight.
Yeah, of the things they are used to. That's their own language. They have their own. People are religious. Some people are charismatics, or some people are Pentecostals, or some people are, But I am not from that perspective. Okay, for example, yesterday I was teaching about truth and about Jesus. Then today I got a letter from a lady, she might be watching now, who said, what kind of truth are you talking about? What kind of truth is that? So, do you mean that truth some people can find God? I mean, we as far as we are concerned, you know, truth, what is truth? You mean the Muslims have their own truth or something? Buddhists and something. So I said, you see, because the people are very confused from my last night's message. But what they don't know is that what I'm trying to describe to them is similar to what Jesus was trying to say. People always say, for you to be a Christian, what do you have to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and all that. Which means you have to become a Christian. You have to, for you to go to heaven, you have to receive the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Okay. Which means you have to repeat some prayers. Say after me, repeat the prayers and confess and go to church. All right. But I was trying to tell them yesterday that Jesus said, Jesus didn't say all those things you are saying. Jesus didn't say all that thing. What Jesus said is, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. So, and then God is love. So I was trying to tell people that Jesus, so I told people, you can get to God through the truth. That the truth will lead you to God. The truth will lead you to heaven. That's what confused them. How can the truth lead us to God? How can the truth bring us to heaven? That's like a fallacy. It is only Jesus. I said, but Jesus just told you now here. that truth, I am the truth. So what's your problem? But you didn't receive Jesus Christ. Not okay. Look, your name is Anu, yeah. Then Anu Luwapo, then Ojo. Okay. So if you now come and I know everybody knows you as Anu, and you answer Anu, people say his name is Anu, he only answers Anu. Okay, you answer Anu. Then somebody comes and say Anu Luwapo. They say, I will not answer. That's not his name. His name is Anu. Jesus said, I am truth. I am the truth. No one comes to the Father by through me. I'm the way too. So what we Christians know is that He is the way. You know, receive Him as Lord and Savior. He is the way. That part we know. And then what happens to the rest? So what we Christians have done is that it's only the way alone. Forget about the rest. We don't understand it. So since we don't understand it, only that one. So we're taking one description of Him, of Himself, and say, okay, that's the only thing. Even though He Himself said, I'm seeing this one and this one. Well, He said, no, we don't understand that. We are just this one. But He Himself, who said I'm the way, He said also I'm the truth. So why do you now separate that other thing from Him? So I wrote the lady to put her to peace. I said, the truth I'm talking about is Jesus. The same Jesus. Because they are all confused. They're thinking, what I'm saying is that people can get to God without Jesus. But that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you want me to use your language, Jesus. Yes, people cannot get to God without Jesus. I'm not saying, like some people are saying, you can go through any religion to God. No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, truth, Jesus is not religious. That's what I'm just trying to say. Truth is Jesus, but Jesus doesn't always have to come in religious packaging. So Jesus is not religious. Okay. Can you try to imagine God or Jesus without religion, without every religion, all Christian thing you know, all religious Christian activities? How will it look like? Some of you cannot even picture God without religion. Because the God you know is only coming in the packaging of religion. So if the religion is removed, you're dead, your faith is dead. You are dead. You don't have anything. You don't know God again. For you, religion means God. So what I'm trying to tell people is that Jesus transcends Christian religion. Am I blaspheming again?
No. I mean, history of Christian religion.
So Jesus is not a Christian. Huh? Jesus is not a Christian. Jesus is more than Christianity. So, which means Jesus could be pictured without any religious undertone. So, I might never go to church and go to heaven. But people cannot. Okay. I might never confess Jesus Christ my Lord and Savior, but with my mouth like this, with you or before the church, or come forward for salvation and then go to heaven. And the only reason for that is because Jesus is not religion. Jesus is truth. Jesus is light. Jesus is love. Jesus is way. Jesus is life. If I discover him, I don't need religion to get to heaven. I just need him. He is the way to heaven. And I can discover him as in religion or out of religion, but as truth, as in the church or out of the church, but as love. But in him is what I need, not his religion. Okay, I think I'll just stop there. So that's what I'm trying to say when I talk about myself too. That when you talk about Pastor Sunday, yes, can I teach? If necessary, I will. Can I do miracles? If needed, I will. Can I write books? If needed, I will. Can I preach? If necessary, please. Can I pastor a church? If needed, yes. Am I a pastor? Maybe. At this particular time, if I'm pastoring, yes. If I'm not pastoring, I might not be. Can I do it? Yes. Can I write? Yeah. Am I writing now? No. Am I a writer? Maybe. If you want, call me that. But I am not that. Pastor, if you want, call me that. But that's not me. So people sometimes might not understand the things you do and your identity. So what I'm trying to tell people is that, can you know Jesus? This is what Jesus was trying to tell people when he was saying, you want to worship me? You want to know me? You want to know God? You want to know the Father? You want to know God? If you want to know God, forget about this mountain. In fact, I will tell you something. Don't even come here yourself. Forget. Forget coming to this mountain. What about all the sacrifices? What about all the offering? What about all the blood? What about if I don't come to the mountain, where will I give my sacrifice? He said, if you want to know the Father, me, I'm not talking. If you want need your mountain, yeah, you can be coming. Even he said, forget about the temple. But without temple, how can I find God? He said, if you want me to tell you the way you can find God, me, I don't need temple for that, and you don't need temple too for that. Because if you want to really worship God, don't need that. Forget about that temple. Because those who will worship God, they only need two things: be in the Spirit and in truth. Love the truth and be in the Spirit. If you can discover truth, forget about religion. Well, that's why it's dangerous to be asking two questions, because if you have questions, the danger in that is that I might answer, and if I answer, it might bring it to more complication. You might be saying, why did I even go there? You might be regretting if I answer that question.
Yeah, I think one of the good things, I don't know, but
so people want to put me or you in a box.
That's the point.
So if I'm not behaving the way they expect me to behave, they are not saying, then he has limited or he has backsliding. But they are the ones who are limited. For example, they are the ones who don't know that you are not just Anu, but that you are also Anu Oluwakmo. You are also Ojo. But then, because people, especially who are limited, they are always the ones who are more proud. People who are limited, they are always the ones who are more sure. They are very sure. But people who know a lot, they know that they don't know anything. But people who don't know anything,
Most confident.
They are the ones who would have known everything. They will say you are even the one who don't know what you are talking about. Just like when you listen to me for the first time, you say, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell them the story.
Yeah. We had a discussion earlier today, and the first response that the reaction I had when I listened to Pastor, it was during the after the demise of Dr. Miles Monroe. And if you can remember, he came out with several series talking about the issue of death and why good men die tragic deaths. And that was like the first time I was listening to Dr. Sunday, back to back, because I was following Dr. Miles and I just saw him talking about it. So I listened to the first episode. I was like, what's this guy saying? He's just trying to get attention. Who is he? Like making some statements like he wants to die young himself, and it's better to die young than to die old. And I'm like, what's he saying? Like, I was just like, man, this guy is in error. Actually,
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. But somehow I kept on listening because there were some thought processes that he was sharing that was making me think.
So, for example, at that point,
yeah.
So what you know that time compared to what you yourself know now.
Nah.
Who is it that doesn't know anything?
It's apparent.
But it is that time when you yourself compare to what you even know now, you will discover that the one that was watching that time didn't know anything. Not even compared to me, but compared to yourself.
To me. Not even you.
That one was ignorant. You see? But it is that one that said he doesn't know what he's talking about.
True.
But the one that knows more now is sitting with me and interviewing me.
True. Very true. Yeah.
But my challenge is that when you get to Africa, especially to Nigeria, Nigerians are super confident.
Yeah.
They are super confident. In fact, they will be confusing you with all energy like this. That no, they know. Okay. So they know. God bless them.
Well, and that's so profound because even with your teachings, and a lot of people that just come with
let me tell you another story.
Yeah.
Since we have team from Venice here, there used to be a lady pastor that they were under before, who was under me herself. She was my pastor, and she left to another country. So she had some news, some rumors, and called me and said, I spoke to this person, this person. What happened? You have to repent. I have to repent. I said, okay, good. I listen. For 30 minutes, she was telling me how I have to repent. I'm a sinner. Okay. So after I finished listening to her, I said, okay, where did you get it from? Oh, I spoke to that one. That one said it also. That one confirmed it. That one said, okay, good. I said, what about me? Me, I thought if I were you, I would have liked to hear your own opinion. But you came and said I should repent without even knowing if it didn't happen or it didn't happen. I said, since you are already come with conclusion, okay, thank you. But I block you from my telephone. This God has been done in our language here. Since you're already wise in your own eye, and you already have your own judgment, I'm not needed now. I'm no more needed. That's an example of how self-assured our people are. So, and people don't give other people benefit of the doubt. It's like we don't have it in our culture. To give other people, maybe I could be wrong. Let me hear the other side. But maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something I don't even know. But we'll try to introduce it to Nigeria, that culture. We'll try our best. It's a value system.
Sure. Well, dear viewers, I'm sure you've been thrilled.
I hope that other guy didn't ask any other question.
No, that was the end. That was the end.
Yeah, I don't even asking him if he's going to be satisfied or not.
Well, I was going to say that. So, well, thank you, dear viewer, for asking that question. That was it caused a whole.
You don't want to recap it for him.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, you asked the question about who. For DSA to answer the question, who are you? And DSA described himself. In 3 shots. With 3 short answers. First, he said that he is a friend of God. Second, he said he's a God revealer. And third, he's a deliverer. And he said it can be anything else just to fulfill these purposes. I mean, to be a friend of God, to reveal God, and to also be a deliverer. And talking about how you don't need to put yourself in a box and allow people, put you in that box to describe you who you really are. But find your identity not based on the description of people around you, but find your identity based on your core. You also being in relationship with God. And he also explained some other things that has to do with also gaining understanding, not thinking you are wise in your own eyes and thinking that every other person is wrong, giving the benefit of the doubt. He explained also about the truth, how knowing Jesus is also knowing the truth. And I believe even more questions and more thought processes that he shared would also resonate in your mind, and maybe more questions will come out. So feel free to send in your questions, and I hope that his answer helped you a lot in being able to describe yourself and discovering who you really are. And thank you also, DSA, for your response. Is always, for me, I like it because it makes my head think too. It makes me use my brain a little bit more. All right, sir. So let's go to the next question. So this person is asking, having known that I'm called into the ministry, how do I start? Am I to serve under a ministry first? I am 24 years old. I feel that I'm getting old for ministry. And please, sir, please list for me some sacrifices I must do for an outstanding ministry. Some price to pay.
First of all, where do you start? The Bible says that in the beginning, God. If I were you, I would start with God. All that means is go and make sure you find or discover God first. Basic thing. Forget about ministry. When you discover God, ministry will flow.
Like what you said earlier. Be a first friend of God. And
well, if they can do that, so if you want to know what that entails, you can find God through knowledge. You can find God through seeking. You can find God through prayers. I talk about solitude a lot. If you want, you can go and listen to my teachings on solitude. You can just go to YouTube and write Sunday Adelaja and the word solitude and search on YouTube. So you'll be able to get a lot of knowledge on how to do that. So, but if you can get a hold of God, ministry will just be an aftermath, a consequence. And that's why I was talking about being a teacher or being a miracle worker or being a writer or being, all those things are just insubsequential consequences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess
because the way the guy is asking the question, as if,
sacrifices.
Well, he's talking as if ministry itself is a goal. It's the goal, it's the target. But I'm trying to say, no, those are just consequences. For example, people always ask me this question: how is it pastoring a large church, a mega church, or largest church in Europe? Now we broke it down. It's not what the largest church may be, but it used to be the largest church for a long time. So what does that mean? I said that for me, that is not a big deal. It's not the goal. It's just a strategy. It's just a method of achieving a goal. But unfortunately, I'm afraid that a lot of young ministers might be thinking like this guy, that the goal of ministry is to have a big ministry on the sides of the ministry. Okay, no, I say it's not. It's just a method or a strategy. So, so somebody will ask me, why then did you build the largest church in Europe? Why did you do that then? Well, there are two different reasons why I did that. Number one, because God told me to do that. And the reason He told me to do that is not because it's the goal, it's just an instruction. And the reason for that is because, like I said, one, God said it. And why did God say it? So God said it because a mega church or a big church is necessary for me or for most people, but for different people, different things, right? But for me, at that particular time, a mega church was necessary to catch attention, to catch the attention of the people I was living among, of the nation, of the whole nation. So another reason why we might want to build mega church might be because you have some other far-reaching goals. So for those far-reaching goals, a mega church could be a strategic move for a greater goal that you are pursuing. So that's what I also did. So, but it's going to be an error for people to be seeing success as a goal in itself. Either it's in church or in money, or in anything. Success itself is not about it. It's not the end result. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this answer would, I believe it should be helpful to young ministers. People that are aspiring to go into ministry, or who believe they have a call into ministry, because the model that we have right now is you're pastoring a 20,000 congregation church, member church, and the way people assess success in ministries, your membership capacity, and how many people you have. If you have less people, you're not doing well. Of course, you increase your number and things like that. But just knowing that should be a means to an end, not should be.
For example, what did we do in my own case? We had over 100,000 people all over Ukraine. In the 25,000 were just Kyiv. But it got to a point that I noticed that it was now counterproductive.
What did you notice?
Oh, well, counterproductive in the sense that when we were having 25,000 people, I saw that most attention was coming to me. Everybody started looking at me as a superstar. And if you are a friend of God, you will know that that's a problem. Because I knew that the attention, people were coming to make sure I was in the service, I was in the church. I was becoming
an idol.
Yeah, I was becoming the center of attraction instead of Jesus. So I needed to destroy that idol myself. The golden calf. I needed to break it. So first of all, what I did was I divided the church into 40 different smaller groups. And then I was still preaching in the central church. Then later on, I walked out of the central church and put somebody else. And I go only once in 1 month to preach. I needed to destroy that idol. Number two, I also noticed that the reason why it was becoming idol was because the goal was already met. And at the point the goal was met, I was still holding up to the strategy. Because it feels good, it makes good talk, and people. So when the goal for a thing is done, dismantle it and reformulate it for another goal.
That's profound.
Yeah. If you don't, you will have your own shrine. You'll be coming to worship you.
Well,
a shrine of the name of Pastor Sunday.
Wow, profound.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But people will not understand that.
Yeah.
Some people go ahead and say, "Oh, Pastor Sunday has been removed from the church." Okay, well, good. That's what they want to think. God bless them. They say, "Oh, this has happened." Okay, well, God bless you. You think anything you want to believe, that's what you believe. It is well with you.
Well, thank you so much.
But if you want to know the truth, ask from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, ask from the source.
Because, for example, if you don't ask, you might never get to this wisdom in your life.
Yeah.
You might just be thinking what everybody else is doing is what is okay.
And I think because people are not really lovers of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second reason why I needed to dismantle that, well, apart from becoming a superstar, is because I discovered that what I could do other people were not doing, just because I was doing it. Not that they couldn't do it, but they were not doing it. And at a point, then you got to a place where they were having less and less faith in themselves that they could actually be like me. So I needed to dismantle it, to now build another structure to convince people that I'm not better than you, where they say you can do exactly what I can do. That's why we now started doing the trainings and the home groups and because that's the strategy now. So that now nobody needs to call upon me for deliverance of alcoholic or drug addict or for healing of cancer or to go and preach anywhere. No, I'm not needed unless if I just need to come up or something, because everybody can do that now.
Sure. Amazing. Well, thank you, DSC. Well, dear viewers, if you're just joining us, this is Ask Pastor Sunday show, and I'm sure you've been getting answers to questions that you might have not even thought about. And thanks to the people that have sent in their questions.
Sorry, before you go ahead, I would like to say that, to just add into that question, because as a pastor, your ultimate goal should be to make yourself irrelevant. If you don't have that goal as you at the back of your mind, as your ultimate goal, then you are going to become an idol one way or the other. Or you are going, you are going to miss it. You are going to go into error.
And I think that's what we have today. Actually, we have a lot of idols. Yeah, we have a lot of idols. I stumbled on one, and the person was about to pray for some people, and they were like trying to rush for him to pray for them, and he was like, "Hey, I will leave now. I will leave now." Threatening those folks that are in need of them. I will leave now. So if I leave now, your hope, your condition is already.
Your hope is dashed.
Your hope is dashed. So hey, they are rushing out. I will leave now. And they're like, yeah.
But what about if you leave and God doesn't leave?
No, they don't present God. God is not in the equation.
Okay.
God. So you don't get it. God is not in the equation.
Maybe he's in heaven.
God is not in the equation.
But here on that, it is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mouthpiece of God.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. But that's so profound. This all by itself can produce a new generation of pastors and of ministers that would have the right mindset of the kingdom. Trying to raise giants, and that's the whole purpose of the church. Because I used to ask the question too, that why is that it's only one man of God that they are organizing a huge conference and he's the only one that can perform miracles. Even his assistant general pastor is not going to do it. I'm not going to talk about other pastors. Other members. Even his right hand man, he's still doing boy. So it's a huge error. That needs to be corrected. Well, thank you so much, TSA. Okay, dear viewers, if you've not shared this video, you could go ahead to share this video. That is one sure way you can have this video for yourself. Share it on your wall, and you can come back and watch it again. And also, you could watch the video. It will be uploaded on Sunday Adelaja official on YouTube, and you can go back and watch it all over again. And also, you can ask your questions. These are questions from people like you that wanted DSA to answer their questions, and you also can send in your questions. Very easy. Right now, as you're listening to us, type Q and then ask your questions. Letter Q and ask your questions in the comment section. Yeah, in the comment section, type Q and ask your questions. And also, you could go to SundayAdelajablog.com, and you're going to see the Ask Pastor Sunday session where you can also send in your question. Ask every question you think of asking. We would ask this question, and you're going to hear from Dr. Sunday himself. Alright, so let's go to another question. Good day, sir. I have passion for self-discovery, but I want to know how to help someone who has passion for something other than what he is studying in the university. This person is being sponsored by the parents, probably to fulfill their dream. Sir, I don't know what to do, and I need your invaluable counsel on this matter.
First of all, whatever you study in the university should only be secondary. your primary education should be self-education, which is self-development. Anything you do, like we are talking with you today, and not just you, I've noticed with almost all the students that have ever come to see me here. For me, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm going to rate people I meet, these are graduates, so medical school students, graduates, and things, I rate them as people in my own mind, they didn't finish secondary school. They have never gone to school, maybe primary school. They are not educated at all. But I discovered that they have passed some exams in their medical school and they have degree or they are doctors. But for me, they are uneducated people. So, and you were also telling me today, affirming that thank God that you came across Dr. Sunday, that because some of these things you are learning, you won't have even known it. Is it okay? So I want you to explain that to people, that the fact that you got a degree somewhere is education. When I talk about education, it's totally a different thing I'm talking about. And that is what people should pursue. And if you have that, you'll be able to become anything you want. If it's your passion or it's not your passion, or you can become anything if you have what I'm talking about now. But if you only have degree and diploma, then you are welcome to the prison of your life.
Well, it's interesting that many of our questions are coming from what we discussed earlier, because we're talking about self-education, and I mentioned to him that giving an example of how to live in the here and now, how to live consciously. That is something I didn't hear from anyone. No one taught me how to live consciously. No one taught me how to be in the here and now. I didn't learn it in school. Even in church, I didn't learn it. Or even the subject of purpose, I didn't learn it in school. My teachers didn't teach me how to discover my purpose and how to live a purposeful life. What I learned, I'm a medical doctor. What we learned in school is how to be a medical doctor, and all the knowledge that you need in the medical field. But then talking about self-education, and that is something that we can't trade for any other thing, because that is how we can become the best version of ourselves, because it's only through self-education that you're able to tap into your ingenuity. That's the only way you can unravel the things that are in you. Because one of the things that I also learned from him is that we were custom made by God, we were packaged by God to fulfill a specific purpose here on earth. And it's only through self-education that we can begin to discover and unearthing all of those treasures that are in us. And through self-education, you learn beyond just what you're taught in the classroom. You learn life, because we're talking about how nobody teaches what life is. The essence of life, not job, not wanting to be a doctor or an engineer, but what life really entails. We don't get to learn that in school, because school will not teach you about life. You won't learn about
So when I say people are not educated.
Yeah.
When in my own understanding, why do I say that? Does that make people feel that, okay, what does it mean? Or these people I met are so bad? Or no, they are not so bad. They are the best in their schools and their university. So can you help them to try to understand what I mean by saying that?
Yeah, the one thing about when Pastor says that people don't even, they're not educated, is that the basics of life. The basics, not even the complexities of life. There's some basic knowledge about life in itself that many people don't even have. Just understanding that life should not be lived for self. As basic as that is, that your life shouldn't be lived for yourself alone. Living for yourself is the least form of life. Just that basic understanding, many people do, because the whole idea of going to school, getting a job, is for people to get a comfortable life for them. So that's like the ideal picture. And that's what most people, I want to get a good job. Like, ask an average Nigerian or an average person, why do you want to be a doctor? Why did you choose being an engineer? Yeah, I want a good job. I want to get sufficient money to enjoy myself, live a good life. Tell people to describe success. If people are to describe success, the description of success is living a good life, living a comfortable life, being able to travel to any area of the world they want to travel to, having enough money in their account, having cars, jets. That's the definition of success. But then when you come with another paradigm telling them that that's not success, that success is defined by the fulfillment of purpose. I mean, you can't say you're successful if you've not fulfilled the reason for your existence. You can't define yourself as great if you're not serving humanity. So these are basic, I mean, understanding of life, that you meet people and they are not even able to produce it. Or for example, you always scold us here. How I mean, we just daydream. The issue of daydreaming, like we just do it without us even knowing that we're daydreaming, and we're just lost. And they're like, "Hey, did you sleep on me?" And that's like basic. I mean, what makes you different from an animal is that an animal lives on instinct. An animal lives by instinct. They are not conscious. I mean, but what makes you a human being, a thinking being, what makes you different from an animal is that you are a Homo sapien. You are a thinking being, and you have the ability to be conscious and to know what you're doing part time. That's like a basic understanding. But many people don't even understand the concept of being in the here and now. I mean, even some of us that won't understand it. I mean, we're still working daily to live consciously, because that's like we don't hear it. I mean, nobody teaches us how to do that. And many of those basic things. So I think one of the things why you come. I mean, another example is you come into the room and the whole place is dark and people are still there, and nobody thinks about, okay, this place is dark, we need light. And then you come into the room and you're like, why is everybody sitting down in darkness? You guys are biomasses. You're not your personality, because the reason why many of them are like, okay, why should I take responsibility to switch on the light? That person is okay with the light being dark, and me, I don't want to look like I'm too forward. And so, you see, and these are like basic things. What makes a person a personality? And many of these things I've learned, I can keep listing one after the other, that they are basic. I mean, you tell pastor the stories, and sometimes I feel like pastor is even joking. Pastor will be like, like, are you serious? People think like I'm like, pastor, come on, this is like status quo for us. Like, this is how everybody lives. And pastor's like, no, I can't believe that. So when you say people are uneducated, what I hear is that, I mean, the basic things of life that everyone should know, you don't even know it. But now I'm talking about the complexities of life. So for me, that's what I understand when you say, I mean, that's why if you scold me or you tell me, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to learn, because we didn't learn these basic things. I mean, we didn't learn these things. Nobody taught us. Well, we just go to school, learn ABC, find X that did not get missing.
But the tragedy will begin when you begin to think that these people didn't just get certified as doctors. But now they are thinking they are somebody, but they are nothing.
Yeah.
But it even becomes worse when that same person goes and begins to give birth to children. And then somebody will be calling them daddy, mommy, papa, papa. And then they think they have already, so who are you to now say you want to teach them anything?
Yeah. So
then you have countries or whole countries or society full of biomasses. Animals with 2 legs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for your pastor, I mean,
some of them will become governors and things like that, and they're all empty.
At that point where you're like, well, we have to keep learning. And I mean, the conclusion is, I mean, there's nothing that you can replace with self-education. There's really nothing you can replace it, because that is where you make all the discoveries possible. That is where you develop yourself. That is how you can live an effective life. That's how you can maximize life. And
that's why this book is important. Huh?
Yeah, I'm reading the book presently, actually. Also, and trying to read the novels.
But this book cannot be read without the essence of life, I think.
vision. Okay,
The essence. The essence of life is it called the essence of life? The essence and meaning of life, or what? Meaning and essence of life.
No. Yes.
Value, yeah.
The value and essence of life.
The value and essence of life, yeah. The essence and value of life. The essence and value of life.
Yeah.
This is actually the foundation. Then comes the base. You have to know the essence and value of life. Essence and value of life. Not many people do even question themselves what is the essence and value of life. People might ask themselves, who am I? But what about life as a whole? What about life itself? What is life? What is the meaning of life? This is what answers it. Then this now tells you in particular how to take advantage of this life and make it effective for yourself and for your goals and for whatever. But the who am I only helps us, who am I? Helps you to discover you. So there are three things. Let's hold them. Three things. Can you tell me the difference between these three books?
Well, who am I will help you in discovering you. I mean, to give you answer to your identity.
Okay. So why is that important?
Why this is important because it helps you understand yourself. I mean, understand you as an entity, not life. I mean, broad, but you specifically. So the focus is on you as an individual.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the essence and value of life is giving you a holistic. So this is you in the picture of life. So this is like you in the
life that I have
now. What is the value of the life? Why am I living? So it's going to give you the understanding of the essence and the value of the life that you possess. The you have discovered and the life that you have, it will give you an understanding of that life and why is that life valuable.
And not just your own life, but holistically.
Of life generally. And then this is going to give you the steps on how to maximize the discoveries you've made here. Who am I? Life, the essence of life. So now
and get the best result out of life.
Of your life. Yeah.
So people don't know sometimes that there is a formula behind my books. People might just think, there are just too many, something. But they don't know that. Somebody can just look at this and just say, there are three books.
Systems. All right, Pastor, let's see if we can answer one more question because it's 3 o'clock now. So this question is from someone. He's saying, no, this question is not necessary. Okay, sorry. The person asking, how can a believer be delivered from financial crisis? I think I said so because you've given answers to finances.
I think I better show them the books, that's all. Yeah. There are so many books.
Yeah, that could give answers to many questions.
To that particular question, yeah. Bring the ones you have first before you bring the others. Bring all those ones and then while the others are coming. So how to get what? I
mean, deliverance from financial crisis.
Okay. Hold this one. Yeah. Do you know this book? Tell them about it.
Money won't make you rich. I mean, this is pastors. I think this was your first book on finances, and what comes with this book, I mean, is that you understand this book gives in details the laws of money, and it also shares your own personal experience with money and how you were able to also raise millionaires. You understand, giving people the right understanding and perspective of what money is. Because many times we think money is the main goal, but here we understand that money is a byproduct. It's a byproduct. It's a tool, and there are laws that needs to be applied that would guarantee you. I mean, getting riches.
And this one?
When there's problem, there is money. But can I just say a joke about this book quickly? You know, I was having a conversation with Dr. Arons, and we were talking about the mindset of Nigerians. That there's something faulty about it. There's something wrong. So he gave an example of this book. Now, when an average Nigerian sees this book, that when there is problem, there's money. Do you know how an average Nigerian will interpret it? Now, he's saying, okay, when there is problem, there is money. So that means if I want to get money, I need to create more problems. That face he gave was the exact face I gave. That's how they're going to interpret this book.
No, I think it was just... I don't think so. I think it was just...
For me, it was because that's what he said. He said that's how they're going to do that. Okay, when there's problem, there's money. So I'll create more problems. So that I'll get more money. But that's I mean, it really crapped me. I was just laughing. Like, how would someone think in his normal senses that you have to create problem to get money? But this book is so fundamental because this book would stop people from running from place to place, from church to church, looking for people that will solve their problems. Because for every problem that you see, there's an opportunity to actually make wealth. That's an opportunity to get money. And so here in this book, you will discover that money gravitates towards problem solvers. People who understand that trapped in every problem is an opportunity to get money. They will understand. So and that's the idea. Every business you see today is a product of a problem. And it's a product that someone saw a problem and they thought about an answer, and that became a business. Name it, Facebook, a problem. People could not communicate to their friends. So they needed that. Or is it Ford? Henry Ford. He saw a problem. People needed to commute. So every problem, there is money. Okay, why losing your job is the best thing that could happen to you?
This is to be in shock.
I think this came up...
the Nigerians inside totality.
Yeah, because this was like your reply to someone. I mean, I remember it was Chioma that sent you some questions. Like, I remember that series very well on I mean, I think it was Time on Conversion series, and you talked about this. Why is losing your job the best thing that could happen to you? I mean, I remember that time you were saying that if you don't have a job, man, you are so blessed. And I think one of the biggest things about this book is that it will help you understand that you have the greatest wealth, and that's time. Yeah, because if you are trapped in a job, I mean, you are mortgaging your life for some pennies for salary. But when you don't have a job, then you have time. And everything that is created, everything that comes out in life is born out of time. So you have time. So you can have time for the solitude that many people cannot have. You can have time for self-education. You can have time to everything, to discover yourself, multiply yourself. And I mean, so if you don't have a job, I think the greatest thing is that you have time to do anything you want to do. And from there, you can begin to make yourself great.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a mindset thing. Poverty mindset and abundance mindset. You know, I like what you wrote here. You said real poverty is not in the size of your pocket, but in the size of your mind. And that's so true. And this is the reason why they said if you take all of the money from all the richest people in the world and you give it to the poorest people, the money will leave those people and go back to these rich people. Why? Because what makes them rich is not their money. What makes them rich is what they have in their mind. So if you can get the right mindset and you can understand what it means to, cause a revolution in your mind, and understand that the reason why you're poor today is not because you don't have money. It's because you don't have the right thinking, you don't have the right mindset that will produce wealth. Because having the right mindset, having the abundance mindset will produce the abundance that you need. So this is a book that works on your mind. Well, this is how to build a secured financial future. I think everyone really needs this book because this book will give answers to how you can get yourself rid from Uncle Sam. Because the reason why many people are in Uncle Sam is because they are living from paycheck to paycheck. And this one, I know this from first-hand experience, that if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, you think you have all the money in the world until when it's time for you to retire. And then you discover that you're going to enter into a state in your life where you'll be suffering because you did not discover the principles on how to, secure your financial future. So different principles that you learn in this book: how to invest, how to save, what to do. Practical things on how to build that future so that you can get yourself freed from Uncle Sam. Yeah, and this is the book. Stop working for Uncle Sam. If you listen to Pastor Sunday, you already know who Uncle Sam is. Uncle Sam is your boss, is your job. So, well, this is like the default system of the world, and this is how life has been made to be like. Norm. The reason why you're going to school is to work for Uncle Sam. And the thing about it is that you're actually training to be a slave. That's like the tragedy of it. Imagine how much I spent being a medical doctor in my school. I spent thousands of dollars, and I invested all of this money to just be a slave to one person. And that's the whole idea of working for Uncle Sam. You're spending your money, you're training, you're spending your time, doing everything you can do to just be a slave and to just get paid some chicken change. And then you work till you're retired, and then they also advise you to get your children to also follow the same line. And then you end up as a pensioner, and then you look back and you're like, what have I done with my life? So this book will get you out of that vicious cycle. Well, for you to get other books, there are a lot of them. You can check on Amazon, and you can see all of the books that Dr. Sunday has on Amazon. And if also you want to get the books, you can write to DSA's books, book at, is it yahoo.com?
DSA's books at Gmail.
Okay, nobody uses Yahoo again.
Nigerians do.
Nigerians use Yahoo. Okay. So DSA's book at books. Yeah, DSA's books at gmail.com. So you're going to get it at a discounted price, and you can also be a distributor. You can make yourself money from this too. You can be a distributor, and you can get a lot of money for yourself as you share this book to people abroad. And also you can get his books on Amazon and on Okada Books. And well, we've come to the end of this episode. I'm sure you had a swell time. I sure did. Anytime I'm here, I'm learning a lot. I'm not just asking questions. So guys, don't think I'm just here to be a host. I'm sitting down and I'm learning a whole lot, and I'm gaining answers and knowledge. Anytime you spend with Dr. Sunday is mind-blowing. So to come your way next 2 weeks, I want you to know that you can ask your questions, and like I've said earlier, send in your questions to Ask Pastor Sunday Show on SundayAdelajablog.com. SundayAdelajablog.com. Or you can even write your questions here now on the comments section. Queue and ask your questions. And if you've not shared this video, you can share the video right now, and let more people even watch this episode. And also, if you want to watch on Pastor's YouTube channel, it is Sunday Adelaja Official. Yeah, you're going to find even previous episodes and thousands of messages that can revolutionize your mind. Thank you so much, DSA. It was a wonderful time with you, and bye for now.
Peace.